All right, so our GCF for numbers should be, oh, that's blue. You cannot see that. 5, right? Oh, it was. And then for my variables, what'd y'all get? X squared and YZ. Good job. Because it's your least amount of variables. And then you divide each one. So we have 5x squared YZ here, 5x squared YZ here. And what did you get as your quotient? 3xy plus 4z. Good job. So your answer has to be 5. Perfect. All right, how do we feel about factoring method number 1, GCF? Easy breezy? All right. I was going to have you start on your homework part, your classwork homework, but we'll come back to it. You don't need to do it. I think you're good. We're going to keep going. All right. Now, if a polynomial cannot be factored, it is called a prime. So if between your 2 or 3 or 4, how many ever additives you have, if they have nothing in common, their only GCF is 1, then you write prime. Does that make sense? So if I had, no, this is the ending of this. So if I had 4x plus 3, can I factor that anymore? No, these two additives have nothing in common. So I would write prime. Okay. If they have nothing in common, no GCF, we write prime. This is before. If you can't find a GCF. If you can't find a GCF, you write prime. All right. So flip it on over. Notes, trinomials where a equals 1. So now we're going to focus on our trinomials in quadratic standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. However, for these, they do the a equals 1. So it's just x squared plus bx plus c. Or it could be x squared minus bx plus c, or it could be x squared minus bx minus c. You won't see it. Yeah. Okay. So method number 2, I call it branches. The reason why it's called branches is because you make branches like off the numbers. But a lot of it's done mentally. So you ask yourself, you're going to look at your C value. So here's my C. Remember, so you're asking yourself what multiplies to give you C, but adds to give you your B variable. And so 3 and 4. So if I was to list out the factors of C, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, right? Agreed? Those are my factors of C, and then they're negatives. Well, 1 and 12 does not make 7. 2 and 6 doesn't make 7. But like Darren said, 3 and 4. So I'm going to check it. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 4 is 12. Awesome. So my factors are B plus 3 and B plus 4. And that's it. I don't know. Did I put an X? Oh, because I told myself to switch the B's to X's and I didn't on your notes. How do we feel about branches? Because you didn't need it before the test. It's not what our test was about. All right, here we have negative t squared plus 2t plus 35. Now, before we do anything, you see how there's a negative in front? We said that A has to equal positive 1. Is our A a positive 1? No, our A is a what? So we have to factor out that negative 1. And when we factor out that negative 1, it's going to change the signs of the other two additives. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to do the branches. What multiplies to give me 35, but adds to give me negative 2. So my factors of negative 35 would be plus or minus 1, 5, 7, and 35, right? So out of my list of numbers here, which two would satisfy this, and what combination of plus and minus? Okay, what kind of 5 and 7? Positive 5 and a negative 7. Okay, 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2, right? 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. Do we agree? So then my factors are, there's a negative in front, because what did I factor out? This guy right here, your GCF. And my factors are positive 5 and negative 7. You should have briefly Algebra 1. Mm-hmm. Questions? So why did I have to factor out the negative 1 first? The A is supposed to be positive. All right. Here we go. What multiplies to give me negative 24, but adds to give me 5? Well, 24 has a lot of numbers, right? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. So what would be my magic numbers? Good job. 3 and 8, but like Darren said, it would need to be a negative 3 and a positive 8. Negative 3 plus 8 is positive 5. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. So my factors are z minus 3 and z plus 8. Cool? Questions? Now remember, if you're unsure what you did, you can always use FOIL and check yourself. Yes, the goal is that you are doing these in your head eventually. Okay? So if you're always like, oh, I'm not sure, then you can always FOIL. Z times Z is? Z times 8 is? Negative 3 times Z is? And negative 3 times 8 is? So I have Z squared plus 5Z after I combine like terms, and I come back to my original, so I know that I did it right. Okay? Again, you can always check yourself. Okay? All right. So as we get better at this, your goal is for this to become mental math. Okay? It should become okay, let me think real quick. So again, I'm looking for factors of C. I'm thinking that equal 40 and sum to 14. So what's my magic number? 4 and 10. So I have a positive 4 and a positive 10. That's our goal. Branches is where we start, and by the end, we should be at a mental math point. Okay? All right, so on your classwork, I would like for you to try 7 and 13. I think they're on, if I'm not mistaken, 7 and 13. No, it's up to you. All right, so for 7, when you first did it, you should have thought of what are the factors of 30? And the factors of 30 are -1, -30, -2, -15, -3, -10. The reason why I went with negatives is because if I have a negative here and a positive here, well, the only way to multiply to get a positive is to have 2 negatives, right? So negative times a negative has to equal a positive. So these are my 3 options. Out of these 3 options, which added to give me -13? This guy. -3, -10. So my answer was x -3, x minus 10. X minus 3, x minus 10. Okay. On 13, you had a GCF. So you had to take that out first. So once you took out your GCF, you were left with a squared minus 5a plus 4. So it multiplies to give me 4, but adds to give me -5. Hey, it happens. And you should have gotten -1 and -4. That's it. Day 1 of factoring. How do we feel?